If you are feeling stuck, conflicted, paralyzed by overwhelm or doubt, this video is for you. I'm going to give you a framework for inner mastery to help you move through that stuck, conflicted, overwhelm, and doubt into being empowered and on the pathway to achieving your goals. My name is Samantha Lotus. I am a holistic master coach, a human optimization specialist. I have been coaching for the past 15 years, and helping you, the awakened leaders, be empowered is what I'm here for. So let's get into it. Almost every single person gets stuck, caught in doubt, or overwhelmed, decision paralysis at some point in their life, and most people don't have a clear step-by-step framework to help them move through it. So I've created this pathway to inner mastery to help you do just that. This framework consists of 10 steps, and I promise you that by the end of it, you are going to feel so clear on your path, so clear on your decision, so clear on your direction, and you're gonna feel amazing, okay? So here we go. Now, before I give you the framework, I'm going to give some examples of how people could be conflicted, stuck, and overwhelmed, and what that could look like, okay? So that you can make this apply to you. And I'll use myself as a personal example. For many, many years, I had been searching the world looking for where I was going to live. And I had this immense inner conflicted feeling of, where am I gonna live? Where am I gonna live? Where's that place that I'm gonna settle down? Where am I gonna build my home? And so that was one for me. For you, it could be a decision with a relationship, or maybe with business. You don't know if you should go in this path, or do this thing, or look for a new job, or get a raise, or start your own business. Or maybe it's a decision with what to do for your health. Maybe you have some health challenge and you've read about this option and that practitioner and that program, and you're just not clear on what to do. This can also apply to a very painful situation that has happened and you just don't know how to move through it emotionally. You don't know how to get from this feeling of stuck and overwhelmed into a better place where you feel clear and empowered. So here are the 10 steps for inner mastery to move through conflict, doubt, overwhelm, and really challenging situations. The first step is what's called awareness. You have to create space to observe, witness, and be aware of the situation. Suffering happens when we are in a fight with reality. And trust me, most of us are often in a fight with reality. It's where we cannot accept what has happened. We want to change it, we want to fix it, we don't want it to be that way. We're in this inner conflicted, and we're actually fighting against the fact that it's happening. So the first thing is to create some space to realize, okay, this is happening. This is what is. In this phase, you're going to simply observe, ideally without judgment, and just bear witness to the actual situation that you're in. Now, the second step, and this one, so many people want to bypass, they want to jump over it, they want to just skip to action and try to fix the situation, but you can't. It doesn't work that way. So step 2 is actually feeling the feelings. Now you might be thinking, Sam, I don't want to feel the feelings. That doesn't feel good. I want to just fix it, move to the step, get the answer and the solution. Well, that's too bad. You got to feel the feelings. We are human beings, human feelers, and the emotions, energy in motion, is one of the most important steps to actually moving through and alchemizing. So what does that mean to feel the feelings? Well, first you want to identify where it actually feels something in your body and what those emotions are. Oftentimes, when it's stuck, it's painful emotions or lower vibrational emotions like anger, sadness, grief, apathy, rage, discontent, any of those type of emotions. Regret is often a big one. Or just paralyzed. That can also be an emotion, this numb paralysis. So what you want to do and how you actually feel the emotions is you create a space for yourself, maybe in your bed, in a closet, on the couch, the kitchen floor works perfect as well. You're just going to surrender. I like to either sit comfortably or lay down, especially if it's really tough. Hand on the heart, hand on the belly, and just give space to feel. Turn off the brain looking for solutions and outcomes and pathways and fixings, and you just feel. So you feel the anger, you feel the sadness, you feel the resentment, you feel all that, and you have to trust that is not going to kill you. It's not going to consume you. So many people avoid feeling their feelings by denying them, distracting, avoiding, numbing, right? Focusing on anything else, stuffing it down. but that only creates states of dis-ease in the body, because those emotions, those energy in motion, will cycle within your body, and they actually need to move through you. So you have to feel them. And I'm going to give you in step 3 ways that you can move these emotions through your body. Step 3, alchemizing the emotion. There are many different ways that you can do this, and I'm going to give you 3 really solid ones. The first one is somatic sequencing, where you use the body in a way to release the emotion. That can be screaming, kicking, punching, yelling, crying, shaking, whatever. I'm not saying you go punch somebody. This is something that you're doing on your own in the safety and comfort of a safe space for you. But moving the body in ways that can be dancing, it can be flowing, it can be spinal, it can be kundalini, it can be all sorts of things. But you're using your body to expel and process the emotions. The second way is through journaling or talking. This tends to be quite effective, especially if you're a very mental dominant. But if you're more on the feminine side or you're more physical dominant, then using the somatic sequencing can be very helpful. But you can journal or talk to a friend, a helpful friend that's not going to give you advice, that's just going to listen to you, or even a therapist. The third way is called EFT tapping, and this is a very effective way. This is the one that I like to use. So you use these tapping points, and that's a whole other video, but you use points, the top of your head, above the brow, the cheekbone, above the lip, the chin, the clavicle, and by the sides here around that chest plate and the breastbone, and you tap through while using words to express the emotions. Now, I find this works really well for people who are both feelers and thinkers, because you are talking through using the mental capacity of linguistics and feeling it and doing a tapping sequencing. You can also move your body, shake, do whatever you want to add that somatic experiencing. The whole point of the feeling is to feel, and then to get to a point where there's this cathartic release, where you're like, I'm done. The emotions have moved through me. I feel complete with this. Not that I'm complete with the whole situation, but this feeling, this immense energy buildup feels complete. So I'll give you an example of this. We can use the example of the houses, not knowing where to live, or the business, or the relationship. Okay, so whatever the situation is, you're going to start to tap out what we'll say like the negative or the conflicting feelings. Okay, I don't know where to live, and that is driving me crazy. I want to live somewhere, and I want to find the perfect country for me, and I haven't yet, and I hate that. I'm so frustrated, I'm tired of traveling all around. Or, I want to focus on my business, but I don't know where to focus. I hate that I don't have enough money. I want to have more money, and I want to feel purposeful. Or, I don't know if I'm in the right relationship or not. Or, I hate the way that my mother-in-law speaks to me, and I don't know what to do about it, and I want the situation to be different, and it's not, and I'm frustrated, and I'm angry, and I feel so sad, and I'm feeling so sad about this, and I feel stuck, and I hate feeling stuck, and I don't want to feel stuck anymore, and life is so stressful, and I hate all this stress, and it's making me fat and bloated, and I'm burnt out, and I'm tired, and I just want the solutions. You eventually get to that place where you're like, I'm kind of exhausted. I've just processed a lot. That is a really great place to be, because then you move into the place of possibility. This is a transition point where you're going to start to shift. Now, however you're doing this, whether this is journaling, talking to somebody, tapping, or somatic sequencing, this is the point where you want to bring in the possibility that it can shift. So say I'm using tapping. After I tap through all of my complaints and my feelings, I'll start to tap. Okay, maybe this can shift. I'm ready for the decision. I'm ready to make a change. I feel confident that things can change. I have faith. Maybe the timing is now. Maybe I do have more control over my situation than I thought. Okay, I'm open. I'm open to this getting better. I don't know how, but I trust this can get better. Yeah, I'm open to this getting better. Ooh, that feels good. That feels exciting. Okay, yeah, I'm ready to move on. So as you can see there, I went from really feeling the feelings and being quite upset and frustrated to being in a place of possibility and openness. That's where you want to be, because that is step 4 of acceptance and expansion, where you're accepting the situation, that's where you are now and you're not anywhere else. And I know it sucks, but that's where you are. and that you get to accept that. And then you get to expand into possibility and potentiality. The next step, step 5, is about activating resourcefulness and resiliency. This is the step where your mental resourcefulness really comes in. It is a shift from that emotional reactivity or stuckness into strategic thinking. This is where you decide that you are going to take your life into your own hands and make some changes. You are going to find the path forward. This is the time where you start to open up and strategically allow yourself to think about what some of the possible options or pathways or solutions could be. You decide that you are strong, that you are powerful, that you are capable and able, and you reinforce that into your mind. This leads into number 6, where you create options and visualize the possible outcomes. This is an important step. So for whatever it is that you are stuck with, you want to create ideally 3 to 5 possible decisions or pathways or options for you that can move you towards where you want to be, how you want to feel, where you want to go. So for the example of me not knowing where I want to live, well, I can think, okay, where are the top 5 places? Say maybe Australia, Canada, maybe 2 places in Canada, stay in Dubai, or keep traveling. Okay, those are the 5 options. Or maybe it's a relationship decision. Well, do I stay with this person? Do we take a break? Do I break up with them? Do I continue on as it is? Say it's for business. Okay, do I go this way where I stay in the company I'm in? Do I take a leap and invest in my own company? Do I get a mentor and start to build the things? Do I go all in on my business in this way? Those are the options. Once you have a list of about 3 to 5, and I wouldn't go more than 5 because you might risk getting back into overwhelm, you have the 3 to 5 options, then you want to visualize them and mentally, emotionally, energetically try them on. So you visualize yourself in each one of those options, and you start to note how you think about it, how you feel about it, if you can see yourself in those options. So you're going through, it's like a practice trial run in your visualization space. The next step is to analyze and prioritize the options. In the analysis phase, you are going to take those 3 to 5, or maybe you've narrowed it down after you've done your visualization, those 3 to 5 possibilities, and you're going to make a pros and cons list. It sounds very basic, but it's a very effective way to see on a piece of paper which one has more pros that line up with you and your values and your ideals, and which ones have more cons, potentially even cons that you don't want to risk, that are just not worth even considering. So once you make that list, 3 to 5 options, all the pros and cons, ideally this will narrow down to finding the right option. Now, if you're still confused, this is where maybe using a friend, that is a really good reflection for you. It's talking to a therapist or a life coach. It's getting feedback from people that know you really well, or even using AI to really help ask you a ton of questions and help gain your clarity on what could be the right path for you. Now, number 8, this is the most important step. It's also the hardest. Fun juxtaposition, but it is the most important, and that is to commit, to go all in, to dive in with both feet, not just 1 foot in and 1 foot out in the other options, not just 9 toes. You want 10 toes in. If you got 10 toes, you want them all in. And I know that can be scary because you think, well, what if I'm making the wrong decision? Well, that's going back to doubt. Well, what if I'm not happy? Well, you're not going to know unless you try it out. Well, what about all the other options that I'm not going to get to do? Yeah, well, that's the consequence that comes with making a decision. Anything you choose, you're always not choosing the other things. That's life. So you have to just commit and choose to trust the decision that you have made. Okay? I will say, it doesn't mean you're committing to this forever, right? Just because you move somewhere, or you choose this path, or you decide to go in on this business, or you make this life decision. Most things are not permanent, unless it's a tattoo. Then I would say don't do it. However, stay tuned for the last 2 steps because we're going to talk about pivoting and reassessing. Okay, so I want you to commit. If you're feeling this and you've had struggles with commitments, just know that you are not alone. I too have struggled with commitment in many different ways. I think I'm a recovering commitment phobe because I was afraid that maybe I wasn't going to be happy, or that I was missing out on something else, or that I was making the wrong decision. And trust me, I've wasted so much time, so much time in fear of commitment because of self-doubt and option overwhelm. So trust me when I say this, going all in on this one option is the best thing that you can do for yourself, because you're actually going to see and going to get the actual experience and evidence to see if this is the right choice for you. And then if it's not, you can pivot. However, step 9, before even considering pivoting, is consistency. Taking consistent, aligned action in alignment with the decision you have made. And that takes time and enough data points. A lot of people, they start something, they're on the high of starting something, right? They're ignorant to it. They're like, I'm excited, this is great. And it might be great for a few days, few weeks, maybe even months, and then there's a crash because everything is hard. There's hard everywhere, whether that be in your healing journey, in a new relationship, in a place you live, in a business, in whatever decision, even in a new haircut. Everything is hard. There's a hard point to everything. And most people tend to quit or pivot as soon as things get hard, because then they look for the high of the new thing and the excitement and the this is better over there, the grass is greener, and it's not. Cliche, however, the grass really is greenest where you water it and fertilize it and tend to it and pluck out the weeds and plant herbs and flowers. That is where the grass is the greenest. So what you want to do is ideally commit to this path for at least 6 months, very, very minimum, ideally a year. And if it's a business, probably 2 to 3 years, because realistically, that is what it takes to build something powerful. You do not want to switch paths within a few weeks or a few months because you don't have enough evidence that it isn't working. Maybe it just hasn't worked yet. Maybe you haven't tweaked it yet. So that brings us to step 10. And if this has been helpful so far, please let me know. Comment that it's been helpful. If you want to like it, that'd be awesome. If you want to subscribe, that'd be even better. I promise to bring you more empowering content and be more consistent than I have in the past. That's my new commitment. Commitment to commitment. But anyways, let's get back to it. Step 10 is reassess. Not too soon. However, you can assess throughout the path, like maybe there are little tweaks that you get to make, tiny tweaks, little improvements. However, you're not going to course correct and pivot too soon because again, you don't have enough data. However, you do want to make sure that you are reassessing, maybe after 6 months or after a year, to see, do I like this? Is this aligned with me? Is this a part of my life architecture that I want? Am I getting the results that I set out to? Are the systems working? Do I need to hire somebody? Do I need to make a change? Do I need to bring somebody on? Do I need to change myself or my mindset or my energy? What gets to be shifted? Maybe it's not the right path for me and I want to try something new, and that is totally fine. If you've had enough data and you realize that this is just not right for you, you can absolutely go back a few steps, go over your decisions, go over your options, pick a new one, commit, and test that out. You can pivot. You just want to make sure, like I said, that you've given yourself enough of a chance to see if it actually can work out for you or if it's just not right. And I want to say that this mastery pathway can also work if you've experienced a major shock or a trauma or something really debilitating. You can also use these steps to move through the emotions and bring yourself from stuck and conflicted, overwhelmed, or even paralyzed into a more empowered state, going towards your dream life and your goals. I hope this was helpful. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.